Let's start with the feeling. It's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are scrolling, always scrolling. You see a friend from college trekking in Peru, a colleague launching a startup, a stranger's impossibly perfect wedding on a cliffside in Italy. A hot, familiar shame rises in you. The quiet of your room feels less like peace and more like failure. Your life, measured against this frantic digital parade, feels dangerously, unforgivably boring. So you feel the pull, the urgent need to plan, to book, to achieve, to post. You need a story for the next dinner party. You need evidence that you are living, not just existing. You tell yourself this is ambition, this is drive, this is a lust for life. But I am here to tell you it is not. This constant, gnawing anxiety is not a personal failing. It is a symptom. It is a warning sign, a fever telling you that your soul is sick from a poison you have been fed since birth. The poison is a lie, elegant in its simplicity and devastating in its effect. The lie is this: a life without constant novelty and peak excitement is a life wasted. It is the gospel of the modern age, preached from the pulpits of social media, advertising, and the relentless cult of productivity. We are now a civilization of experience junkies, terrified of the silence, terrified of the ordinary. And you, in your quiet desperation, are its most devoted follower. Consider the sheer scale of this delusion. Billions of people curating their lives into highlight reels, measuring their self-worth in likes and shares, confusing motion with progress. You feel it in your bones, don't you? The exhaustion of the performance, the emptiness after the thrill fades. You followed all the rules of the new world, so why do you feel more hollow than ever? How did the promise of a full life lead to such a profound emptiness? To understand the mechanics of this trap, we must turn to a prophet who diagnosed this very sickness of the soul nearly 2 centuries ago. Not a scientist or a guru, but a philosopher of the abyss, a Danish thinker named Søren Kierkegaard. He saw you coming. He saw your frantic scrolling, your bucket lists, your desperate chase for the next thing. He gave it a name, a diagnosis for your condition, the aesthetic stage of existence. The aesthetic stage, Kierkegaard warned, is not a life of appreciating beauty. It is a prison of sensation. The person trapped here, the aesthete, lives for the interesting, the novel, the stimulating. Their entire existence is a strategy to avoid one single, terrifying enemy, boredom. Because for the aesthete, boredom is not just a lack of stimulation. It is a confrontation with the self, a glimpse into the void of a meaningless existence. And so, they run. This is not some dusty academic concept. This is the operating system of your world. It is not a window to reality. It is an aesthetic curation machine. It is designed to present you with an endless buffet of the novel, the shocking, the beautiful, and the outrageous. It trains your brain to reject the quiet, the subtle, the ordinary. It turns you into a perfect aesthete, swiping away any moment that doesn't provide an immediate jolt of stimulation. You don't have an attention span problem. You have been conditioned into an aesthetic crisis. The system needs you to be an aesthete, because an aesthete is the perfect consumer. You are always hungry for the next experience, the next product, the next destination that promises to fill the void. The travel industry, the entertainment industry, the tech industry, their entire business model is built on your Kierkegaardian despair. This is why your vacations feel hollow. You are not seeking rest, you are seeking content. You are not there to experience a new place. You are there to harvest images that prove you were there, to build a narrative of an exciting life. The trip becomes a job, the sunset a backdrop, the experience a commodity to be consumed and displayed. You return more exhausted than when you left, because the aesthete can never rest. The deception reframes your entire life. That's not a fear of commitment in your relationships. It's the aesthetic demand for endless romantic novelty. The aesthete is terrified of the boring parts of love, the quiet companionship, the predictable routines, the hard work of building a shared life. So you swipe, you date, you chase the spark, always believing the perfect, endlessly exciting person is just one more match away. It is a recipe for profound loneliness. Kierkegaard saw the end game of this stage of life: despair. Not a loud, dramatic despair, but a quiet, creeping kind. The despair of realizing that no matter how many new things you try, the same old emptiness comes back. The thrill of each new experience diminishes. The parties get louder, the trips more extreme, but the void within only grows. It is the despair of a person running on a treadmill, accelerating constantly but never moving an inch forward. You must understand this uncomfortable truth. This state you are in is not a glitch in the system. It is the system working perfectly. You have been meticulously programmed to fear your own inner life, to see boredom not as an opportunity for reflection, but as a personal failure to be corrected with consumption. This is the foundational layer of the lie, but it goes even deeper. The lie is not a modern invention. Kierkegaard diagnosed the symptoms, but another, earlier prophet identified the source of the virus itself. 2 centuries before Kierkegaard, the French philosopher and mathematician Blaise Pascal uncovered the deepest, most primal reason for your frantic chase. He laid it bare in a single, terrifying sentence that indicts our entire civilization. All of humanity's problems, Pascal wrote, stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Read that again. Not war, not poverty, not disease. The source of all our misery is our inability to endure our own company. This isn't just a clever observation. It is the hidden key to the prison you find yourself in. It is the uncomfortable truth at the heart of the lie. Why are you so terrified of that quiet room? What are you running from? Pascal knew. In the silence, without distraction, you are forced to confront the fundamental questions of your existence: your mortality, the vastness of the universe, the nagging sense of your own insignificance, the state of your own soul. This confrontation is terrifying. Pascal called it encountering the abyss. And so we invent what Pascal called diversion. The entire architecture of society is a grand conspiracy of diversion. From the gladiator games of Rome to the 24-hour news cycle and the infinite scroll of your phone, it is all a sophisticated, high-stakes project to ensure you never have to spend one single, uninterrupted moment in that quiet room, to make sure you never have to face the abyss. You don't have a time management problem. You have a meaning management problem. Your packed schedule, your back-to-back meetings, your endless to-do lists, they are not signs of your importance. They are walls you build to protect yourself from the silence. The cult of busyness is the most respectable form of diversion our society has ever invented. To be busy is to be safe from thought. To be productive is to be shielded from purpose. This is how Kierkegaard's aesthete and Pascal's terrified man work together to enslave you. Pascal reveals the core fear, the terror of the self. Kierkegaard describes the frantic, modern solution, the endless chase for sensation. The system doesn't have to force you into this prison. It simply has to dangle an endless supply of diversions and count on your innate Pascalian terror to do the rest. It is the most elegant form of control imaginable. Think about the design of your life, the open-plan office that prevents deep focus, the constant notifications on your phone that shatter your concentration, the expectation that you are always available, always connected. This is not an accident. This is an environment engineered to prevent the silence that Pascal identified as so dangerous. It keeps you perpetually distracted, anxious, and malleable. The fear of being boring is not your fear. It has been installed in you. It is the ghost in the machine. It is the security system for the prison of diversion. Because if you were to ever embrace a boring life, a life with space, with silence, with routine, you might just find the time to sit in that quiet room. You might just start asking dangerous questions. You might just see the bars of your cage. And that is a threat to the entire system. This is why stillness feels so uncomfortable. It's not just boredom, it's withdrawal. You are an addict, and your drug is distraction. When you take it away, you are hit with the full force of the anxiety it was designed to numb. The system counts on you flinching. It counts on you reaching for your phone, turning on the TV, or planning another trip. It counts on your inability to endure the silence. So now you see the shape of the trap. You have been sold a lie that a quiet life is a failed life. This lie has turned you into a Kierkegaardian aesthete, chasing novelty to escape despair. And this entire chase is powered by a deeper, Pascalian terror of the silence where you might actually have to meet yourself. It is a perfect, self-perpetuating prison. The question now is, what are you going to do about it? How do you escape the trap once you have seen its walls? The path to liberation does not lie in finding a better, more exciting diversion. It is not about discovering a healthier's addiction. The escape is a radical addiction. The escape is a radical act of rebellion. It is the conscious, deliberate, and courageous choice to do the one thing the system is designed to prevent you from doing, to sit quietly in the room. The antidote to the lie is to find the extraordinary in the ordinary. This is not a platitude. It is a strategy of spiritual warfare. It is the reclamation of your most powerful and sovereign faculty, your attention. The system wants to chop your attention into 1,000 tiny pieces and sell it to the highest bidder. Liberation is gathering those pieces back and learning to point them like a laser at the reality that is right in front of you. What does this actually mean? It means you stop treating your life as a story to be told and start treating it as a reality to be inhabited. It means finding the universe of complexity in the taste of your morning coffee instead of scrolling through your phone while you drink it. It means truly listening to the person in front of you instead of thinking about what he will say next. It means discovering the epic drama in the changing of the seasons outside your window. It means learning the topography of a loved one's face as if it were a new country. It means turning a simple walk into a pilgrimage of noticing the crack in the sidewalk, the resilience of a weed, the architecture of a leaf. You have been trained to believe these things are boring. That is the lie. The truth is, they are infinite. This is not about mindfulness as a wellness trend. This is not another thing to add to your to-do list to optimize yourself. This is an act of defiance. It is choosing depth over breadth. It is choosing presence over performance. It is making the radical claim that a single, fully inhabited moment of ordinary life has more value and more truth than 1,000 documented, superficial experiences. Let me offer you a new model, the connoisseur of the present moment. The connoisseur does not need 1,000 different wines. They can take one glass of simple wine and find in it the story of the sun, the soil, the rain, the history of the land. Your life is that glass of wine. You have been gulping it down, desperate for the next bottle. The path to freedom is to become a connoisseur of the life you already have. This path requires courage. When you first choose the quiet room, the anxiety will scream at you. The phantom limb of your phone will twitch. The fear of being boring, the fear of missing out, will feel like a physical assault. This is the moment the prison guards realize you are making a break for it. You must hold your ground. You must learn to be your own source of validation, to operate on an inner scorecard, not an outer one. The aesthete is a slave to the opinions of others, constantly asking, "Was that interesting enough?" The liberated soul asks a different question. Was I present for my own life? When you commit to this path, something miraculous begins to happen. The world, which once seemed dull and gray without constant stimulation, begins to shimmer with a new light. You start to see the hidden poetry in the mundane. The ordinary becomes charged with significance. You realize you were not running from a boring life, but from a life you had simply failed to ever truly see. So here is the final, uncomfortable truth. The choice is yours and yours alone. The system will not help you. The culture of diversion will not pat you on the back for choosing silence. Your friends, still trapped in the aesthetic, may call you boring. They may not understand why you'd rather have a deep conversation than go to another loud party. You must be willing to be misunderstood. You must be willing to disappoint the expectations of a sick culture. You must have the courage to choose the authentic dullness of reality over the glittering falsehood of constant diversion. It is the choice between performing a life for an audience and actually living one for yourself. This is not a call to become a hermit. It is a call to change the center of gravity of your life, to move it from the external to the internal, to build an inner citadel of presence and meaning that cannot be shaken by the whims of trends or the judgment of the crowd, to find your home in the quiet room of your own soul so that you can go out into the noisy world without losing yourself. Stop asking how to make your life more exciting. Start asking how you can be more present to the life you already have. Stop chasing experiences and start inhabiting your existence. This is the end of the lie. It is the beginning of your real life. The door to the quiet room is in front of you. It has been there all along. Will you continue to be a ghost at the feast of your own life, a frantic aesthete running from the abyss? Or will you have the courage to stop, to turn, to face the silence, and to discover the entire universe that waits for you there? The choice is not easy, but it is the only choice that matters. The choice between slavery to stimulation and the difficult freedom of being.